Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome to the show. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio. And our guest today is Susan Empizo Vega. Did I get that right, Susan?
Yeah.
All right. Are you going by the hyphenated still? I've known you so long, and I forgot to ask you for this interview your title. I want to call you the Literacy Manager for the city of Chula Vista. How do you like that title?
I love that. I'm a librarian, but I do help manage the literacy program, the Chula Vista literacy program.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been fun. It's been exciting.
Well, you've had a long run now. How long, if you go back to and I want to ask you about your very first day in literacy, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. How long, starting from your very first day in literacy, have you been doing this work?
I started when I was 12. No, it was in 1995.
95, okay.
I started as a volunteer, actually, at the Chula Vista Literacy Program, the adult literacy program. And what started out as a 6-month commitment has been, 25 years now? Is that right? Did I do the math?
I think so. Yeah. Wow.
And it's taken me to so many different programs. I've been in San Jose, I've been at San Diego Public, Carlsbad, National City, and then at Chula Vista, back at Chula Vista again.
And that's part of why we wanted you on the show, because you have a literacy journey as a professional that not a lot of folks have. You've worn a lot of hats. In fact, I'm going to remind you of a few of them. But I forgot about San Jose. That you're gone for a bit. Now, how long were you up there?
It wasn't that long. I missed San Diego too much, so I was there for about 9 months, and it was great. I loved the city, but the call to San Diego was greater to come back.
Yeah, no, it's home. It's home, and we love it here, and we're glad you're here in the San Diego Literacy Network. You started off as a volunteer 25 years ago, and I have to tell you something. I have to say this. It's really funny because I've been doing this since 1985, so 35 years, and us people who've been around that long, we still look at the people who came in after us as the new people. So just if it helps at all, I don't know if there's ego involved there, but it's like, oh, she's new. She's only been doing this for 25 years. 25 very important years. So what happened, Susan? Because I guess you came in as a volunteer to tutor someone in reading. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because I was at the library studying. I was at UCSD, or I was studying at UCSD, but I was at the Chula Vista Library, and there was a sign saying, "Make a difference in someone's life, be a tutor." And that sounds good. So I called, and I was trained as a volunteer, and then I was with my learner for a good year or so. And after I graduated, they asked me if I wanted to be an AmeriCorps member with the Council on Literacy. So that's how I met you.
Okay.
Do that. And so when that was a year commitment, and I thought I could do a year commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1 year commitment became
2 years.
Second year.
2 years.
And then, and then as a Vista, because we were Vistas, we could do a third. So I said, why not? Let's do a third.
See?
And so,
yeah. I forgot about AmeriCorps Vista. Oh my God! I was going to say, Susan, this is your literacy life, but it's my literacy life too. I forgot about AmeriCorps Vista.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we get too far away, UCSD, what was your major?
Anthropology.
Anthropology.
With a minor in teaching and reading, with 2 minors.
Okay.
Or not reading, teaching and literacy.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, literature.
Mm-hmm.
Literature. So there is a connection too.
Mm-hmm.
to what I'm doing now.
So you were a tutor, and then did you start volunteering with the staff, or you came in? Okay, I'm going to guess this is what happened. You were a tutor, and then they said, "Hey, we want you to work for us, and we have this AmeriCorps program." Did it happen like that?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. I kind of recollected
So
that.
yeah, I was actually I just happened a throwaway line when I was leaving it. So yeah, now that I graduated, I need to find a job.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think a day later, someone from the program called and said, "Hey, I'm going to be leaving my position as an AmeriCorps member. Would you like to, try out for it?"
Mm-hmm.
Sure, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is history. So it's just amazing how it seems like yesterday I walked in to tutor training, but it's been so long, and you meet so many interesting people,
Mm-hmm.
and so many people that do change your life. So it's like you change your life, but you change your own.
Right. Well, I like to say, because it happened to me, Susan, and I'm seeing that it happened to you too. I didn't plan. Look, here I am 35 years later. I didn't plan literacy, when I got out of college. I didn't plan that. And I think it kind of just happens it sounds to me like it happened to you. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Yeah, I kept saying, okay, I'm going to do the year, and then I'm going to get the real job.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm going to do another year, and then, okay, I'm going to get the real job. But, it turned out this is the real job,
Mm-hmm.
and it's such a fulfilling.
Well, you showed early on, you work from your heart. We know just how much AmeriCorps pays.
Yeah.
It's called subsistence pay.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you get to the program, then you do get that college grant award. But no, it doesn't pay very much. It's not really subsistence pay, so it's not enough.
10% above poverty. I remember that.
Okay, yeah, right.
But so it is. It does for a lot of people that start off as tutors. They years later, they're like, I remember tutoring, and that was like one of the best decisions of my life to tutor someone, and the impressions that the learners have made on them, or just the experience has been so important to the people who have been tutors.
Oh yeah. Just how much they're impacted, affected, fulfilled, and then just what happens with their students. So Susan, what as I remember, AmeriCorps Vista, because we had later on was literacy. What was it? Literacy Corps, AmeriCorps.
Literacy AmeriCorps through the state.
Okay, yes.
Or
So that was later, but you were a part of the AmeriCorps program that was involved in capacity building.
Yes.
Was that work you were doing, or were you doing a lot of instruction?
Probably a little bit of both. So we, as Vistas, we were focusing on sustainability, capacity building. So creating programs that would last beyond our tenure as AmeriCorps members. So, developing curriculum. But in order to develop curriculum, you got to test it out. So we would teach. For me, in my experience, I would teach the curriculum that I created, and then when I did leave, that curriculum was there for people to use, and also including tutor recruitment, recruiting tutors, recruiting learners, developing programs that will keep the program sustained after you.
Wonderful. So I'm curious. I did not know. Okay, let's put another hat on for you. That you were doing curriculum development. Do you still have any of that content?
I have a little bit, not much. The writing class, a lot of it's like refining what was there. I'm sure on a shared drive here at Chula Vista, there's some from the 90s. Maybe I have some paper copies. There's a little bit left, but in what I've heard in the programs I've been in later years, outside of AmeriCorps, was that we still use that program, or we still use those materials, and we updated it, but the core is still there. So that's very
nice.
Very nice.
Wow. So what do you remember about that curriculum? What was the essence of it?
I remember part of it is let me think. it was writing, so a lot of writing, so a lot of response to writing, a lot of free writing, just getting people to be comfortable to write and not be worried about spelling. And that's a big thing for our students. Like, they don't write because they don't spell well. And writing is not spelling. And sometimes it's a hard mindset to break out of, that a bad speller does not mean a bad writer. So really getting people comfortable to write about what they want to write about, not because this is what's required of the class. So a lot more free writing, a lot of that type of thinking. And for some people, they like the freedom of being able to write whatever they want to write, but there are others that need a little bit more structure. So we do add, like, a little bit of, how about if you write about this, or, we do a story starter or something like that.
Right. I love this stuff. I mean, I still use this. Like, I do a little bit of tutor training, not so much anymore, but I still use those sentence starters. And then and you're the right person for this. We're going to go to break in just a second, Susan. Okay. But you're the right person. One, you got such a soft, nice touch, and then the whole idea. So, did you ever get to teach your curriculum? You did, right?
I did a little bit, and even now we created a new tutor training. Just taking a lot of what from other programs and just kind of massaging it to something that's best.
All right. Okay. We're going to break right now, so I'm going to come back to all of that. Hey, well, we're talking to Susan Empizo. She's from the Chula Vista Public Library, and I'm a librarian there. But to me, she's just like this journeyman literacy pro. And then we're going to come back with Susan. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Homeless veterans and their families are suffering and need our support, but many won't ask or don't know that help is within reach. Veterans Community Services is here to help. Amazingly, about 35% of the homeless in our neighborhoods are veterans with families. Low-income veterans or their friends are encouraged to contact Veterans Community Services and reach out for help with housing and other services. Call now, 800-974-9909.
I'm Dr. Janet Woodcock, Director for the Center for Drugs at FDA. If you've recovered from COVID-19, confirmed by a positive test, you're in a special position to help us fight the virus. Your plasma has antibodies that can fight COVID. Please donate plasma now. You can help save lives. There are locations across the country that have safe ways for you to donate. Find a site to donate your plasma at coronavirus.gov.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services at taxpayer expense.
This is Bill Gruber with BizVid Communications, a Southern California video production leader. We've been honored to sponsor, produce, write, and host many of the fine programs on WS Radio over the years. So we understand how important the internet and your website exposure are. As video producers, we know the tricks and secrets to incorporate video to increase your search engine optimization and business success. Visit bizvidcommunications.com to see what we can do for you. BIZVID communications.com.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McCullough brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcCullough.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. MCAULIFFE. ChristopherMcCullough.com.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world without their smiles or their laughter? A world where children don't play or sing or dream or imagine?
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we can't imagine a world without children. That's why we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children everywhere. Diseases like cancer, pediatric AIDS, and sickle cell. And we won't stop until every child is cured and every disease is defeated. Because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, Log on to our website, stjude.org.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show. We're on WS Radio, and we're talking to Susan Empizo Vega. She is a librarian at the Chula Vista Public Library. Let me ask you about your library role, Susan, because you're literacy, Susan, to me. But tell me about your library life.
So, the Chula Vista Public Library, we have three branches. We have the Civic Branch, the oldest branch, and then we have the South Chula Vista Branch, where the literacy program is based out of. And then we have another branch in the Otay Ranch Mall. Right now, our libraries are closed to the public, unfortunately, but we still offer books. If people want to put books on hold, they can pick them up at either the Otay Ranch branch or the Civic Branch. We do passport processing at both of those branches. We have something called Takeout, which is the whole pickup system, but we have a takeout menu. So if you go to our website, if there are books, like if you don't know what you want to read, but you have an idea, you can look at our menu, and then if you allow the staff to choose for you, we can choose books that we think you would like.
That's so clever. It's so funny. All right, just give them whatever.
So it's like,
yeah.
So if you want like appetizers or starters, like short books, or especially for parents who, they're expected to have books for their kids to read for school. If they don't know what to pick for them, or they just want 10 picture books, doesn't matter what, they can put that on our menu, and then we have staff to choose that book for them, those books for them. So it takes a lot of the thinking from what should I read next.
Yes, amazing. Now, whose idea was this? Is your whole team out there?
Yeah, it was a team effort. We came up with the idea to take out one of our staff members, Jackie, thought of that as the main premise for the pickup, the curbside pickup, because we don't do curbside because the person has to come to the library door to get it. But when we got takeout, of course we're thinking about food. And, let's do a menu, and because we wanted to get books, our collection in the hands of the people of our community, and so we thought this would be a good way for people to get books, and with very little effort on their part. And of course, if a person doesn't have access to the computer to put books on hold, they can call the library and talk to someone, and we can walk them through the process or fill out the form for them, and then or even put books on hold on their account for them. And they can also call the library if they don't have a Chula Vista library card and they're a resident of California. They can get a card from us, because we also have online resources. Many libraries do. So we have an ebook collection. So you don't even have to leave your house. You can just get your ebooks. We have Hoopla, which is a great way to access movies, music, and more books. And you stream it on the Hoopla app. We have on our website, we have for those who are working on SATs or just basic skills, we have Learning Express. That's also a great place if you are taking tests for employment. There are a list of employment exams that you can practice, or even GED. And we have the Vets Now, Jobs Now, especially now and at this time where we have, with the amount of unemployment in our community and in our country, people are looking for jobs, and we have a service called Jobs Now, which will help you, assist you to find that job that you need or you'd like to have. So there are, and tutor.com, that's a part of things. So for kids who need help or starting off with school-age children who want to need a tutor, a live tutor, there are tutors available for them online to help them with the subjects. But not only that, if you are looking for resume review, you can submit your resume through tutor.com, and then someone will review it and give suggestions on how to improve it. So there's lots of resources at the library, not just the building itself, but on our website, which is I'm going to push the website, chulavistalibrary.com, and you can they can go there and they can look at what we have. Just look under digital resources, and you'll see our takeout menu. You'll see everything that I talked about.
That's an incredible. Let's use the word. That's an incredible menu, and how successful is the library, the city feeling, because these are things that maybe a lot of people don't know that Chula Vista Library can do for them. How successful are you feeling about educating them about all these?
We try our best. We do have our social media channels. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We do have also our programming is on our YouTube channel. So if people are looking for story times, they can do that. We're on Facebook. We try our best to spread the word, and we are lucky that a lot of our patrons do share what we have. Oftentimes when we post something, we'll see, shared 10 times, or so that does come out. And then the city also does share lots of things that are library related. But we do know there are people that aren't on social media and don't have the tools. So, we're hoping word of mouth. We're hoping, people who even just come to the library hoping we're open. We do give them information about what's available online. So we try, but given this pandemic, that's an extra challenge that we are still working. And we are doing other things because of the community needs. So, especially with the COVID vaccine, in order to get the vaccine, the best way would be to go online and register for an appointment. Now, if you don't have a computer, or if you're not internet savvy, or if literacy, if you are unable to fill out an online form, that's just another barrier. So what we have done is that we provide a number of people who can call, and we can assist them by filling out that form. So they would relay the information to us. We would type it onto the form on the online form, and then we would make the appointment for them. But granted, with the amount of demand for the vaccine, which is great to hear, we don't have as many appointments as we'd like to have just yet. So, but that, yes. So it's been full. It's been amazing.
Oh, you don't have appointment openings, or you don't have people coming asking for an appointment?
So when people call, they're oftentimes people who have tried and haven't been successful, and so they call us. Or a lot of them are people like, I don't have a computer, I only have a landline, I don't know how to make an appointment.
Oh, I see.
So then we would try to walk them through it. So the phone lines have been ringing nonstop at this time, but we're hoping we'll be able to have access to more appointments so that we can schedule people, because the goal is to get everyone vaccinated.
Right.
I mean, that's just the whole community goal.
Yeah.
And whatever the library can do to assist in that process, we want to be part of that.
That's amazing. I mean, it's I like to say, I've stolen this, but the library, Gary Strong, the library is the people's university. But what you're describing is beyond that, Susan. It's just like, what do you need help with? What are the things that you need to navigate through, things that you need to understand that are online, or things you need to read, or whatever. And you guys are there to answer those questions. It's like what do we call it? 211.
Exactly.
Right?
And for a while in the spring and early summer, library staff was we were 211 operators, and so if you were in the Chula Vista area, or if you called 211, you may have gotten one of us answering the phone.
I was just kidding, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not. We still are in contact with one another, but at one point we were helping with, especially with the food assistance, since food scarcity at that time was so prevalent. We were helping we're helping people locate food banks near them,
Mm-hmm.
helping them connect with the food stamps application process, and just trying to get people the community services that they needed that were close to them.
Oh my goodness! Oh, I don't know how many more people you want to know that you do all of these things, but I mean, believe me, I mean, there's so much need, and not a lot of folks out there doing what you're doing. It's a little bit of teaching, isn't it?
It is. It is, and it almost feels like you're doing tech support, because some people they might be at the website, and this is what I see, and you're kind of walking them through, like, this is what you should click on, or this way. So it's a little bit of that too.
Okay,
So,
Susan, we're going to break again, and is it going by quickly?
It is.
Yeah, I told you. and you can. I do want to know a little bit more, because I've seen it before. I just never looked into it. Tutor.com. I'm interested in that, and then just and our listeners are too. And I want to talk to you about some of the other things. Your student Gilbert Sandoval, and your favorite books, and your dogs, and your San Diego Padres. We can talk about some of your favorite things. All right. So, things are really shaping up. So we're all gonna get back into our regular routines here. Give us a little bit of time, and then get to enjoy a lot of the things that we did get to do with each other before COVID happened. But we'll be back with Susan Empizo Vega, and she's a librarian at the Chula Vista Public Library. And I'm Jose Cruz, and this is the Literacy for All radio show. We're on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Does your business do a lot of shipping and wish you could get more for less? Stamps.com is the solution. It's the ideal way to automate and simplify your e-commerce shipping needs. Easily import all your venues like eBay, Amazon, and others. Trips to the post office will soon become a memory. Stamps.com gives you postage on demand. Just click, print, and mail at discounted shipping rates. See why so many e-commerce businesses have switched. Visit Stamps.com.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The WorldLink program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
Love to read but just don't have the time? With Audible.com, you can catch up on reading simply by listening. Audible has the largest collection of digital audiobooks, over 85,000 titles in every genre. Listen to a bestseller on your iPhone, BlackBerry, Android smartphone, or one of 500 other compatible devices. Visit audible.com/WS Radio today and get a free audiobook when you try Audible free for 14 days. That's audible.com/WS Radio.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days? What's that mean?
Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world without their smiles or their laughter? A world where children don't play or sing or dream or imagine?
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we can't imagine a world without children. That's why we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children everywhere. Diseases like cancer, pediatric AIDS, and sickle cell. And we won't stop until every child is cured and every disease is defeated. Because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website, stjude.org.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio, and our guest is Susan Empizo Vega, and she's a librarian at the Chula Vista Public Library. We're getting a lot of good information here about what they're doing in the South Bay of San Diego County. Susan, here's what I wanted to ask you there are things you're doing right now. I was thinking about this on the way up. In fact, I was talking to someone about it. Things that we're doing right now because of COVID, the Zoom meetings, and then some of the things that you're doing at the library to get books and such, and order books, how people order books. Are those things still going to be around after COVID?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I feel that we've always had the hold. People can put books on hold and pick up at the library. Hopefully, in the near future, they'll be able to come into the library and pick them up. You know, if the takeout menu is still popular, I'm sure we'll still have that. I think what those two provide is just to provide some sort of human contact, like to know that someone picked these books for me. That to have that feeling that someone is actually looking at what they want and choosing books. I think that's been I'd like to think we keep that there. And then, of course, the online resources we will be keeping. We also have a program called Zip. I forgot to add one more thing. One more program called Zip Books. And other libraries do this too. You may want to check in with that with your own local library. As well with all the other resources. Some libraries do offer the same things as we do. But with Zip Books, if there's a book that you're looking for and it's not in our collection, and it's not a New York Times bestseller, there's a lot of caveats, but you can, and it's under, I believe, I don't remember the price, but there's a limit to what you can order, but you can request it, and we can through our website, and then we can send it to you. It'll be sent to you by Amazon, and it's a brand new book. It's not marked. You do have to return it to us in 3 weeks, but it's a great way to, if you don't see something that's in our collection and you really need to read that book, you can order it via Zip Books. And it's a program through the state library.
Okay.
Yeah, through the state library. But yeah, it on our website you'll see a Zip Books thing. You do have to have a library card with us to do it.
Yeah.
But you can, again, if you're a resident of California, you will be able to get one first.
Very good. Okay, we want to know about these innovations. Let's go back to a topic regarding the menu and such that parents in 2020 were put into an awful position of being their teacher for their children and selecting materials and stuff. And with that menu, you're helping them do that. Did you find that a lot of people needed a lot of help with material selection? Do people pretty much they don't know what to do, what to get for their kids?
Yeah, I mean we keep it pretty open as much as we can. So when we say if you look in the children's portion of the menu, it'll say like books in a series, and then we ask for feedback from the parents, like what types of books or what series, and then sometimes we get very specific. Like this is a third grader; they want books on animals or like bears, and then we would find books on bears. Others may it's not as popular, and so sometimes we do contact the parents. Say, can you give us a little bit more information what you're looking for? Because I think for a lot of us with books, like we're not sure what we want, but we know it when we see it. And so we're doing the browsing for them. so we, if people don't like what we chose, that's okay. They can return the books and then do another menu and then add more details to what they want. But we do have parents that just, they're just so happy to get books for their kids to read. And if the teachers provided a reading list, then that makes it easier to pick the books that they want.
But you get to do shopping for the parents, for their kids.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. So it's kind of
fun. It's fun. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it is. It's fun to do. And you feel a little pressure that you want to get it right. You want to make the parent happy. And the person reading, the child, happy.
Yeah.
But it is exciting to say, this is my choice. I hope you like it.
Very good. Now, can you talk to us about Tutor.com just for folks who maybe were looking for that? Is it for children?
Yeah.
Is it free?
It's free with the library card.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on YouTube, search for Chula Vista Library, we do have videos to walk you through the process, how to get started. So you can do that. But it is free. You do have to sign up. I think they require just your email and your library card number and your name. And then the tutors are available at certain times of the day. Forgive me, I don't remember the times. It's usually after school hours.
Mm-hmm.
But when you sign up, you can request a tutor. You'll request a subject, and then they assign you a tutor. And then after the session, I believe you can rate the tutor. And if you want that same tutor, you can request it for the next session. It is helpful, especially for parents. When you're working on a subject and you're not quite sure how to explain it to your child, this is an option for them to have you connected to a live tutor. But if that's not something you want to do, there are plenty of videos and resources on the website that you can access. So if your child is going to be working on this subject and you kind of want to brush up on it before they ask you questions, you can go and check out what's available there. There's also not just academic subjects, but just the softer skills, executive function skills, time management, for adults, if you're finding a career, doing what makes an effective, like I said, what makes an effective resume. And again, there are people for adults, if you want your resume reviewed, they do that as well. So it's free. There is an app, the Tutor.com app. So once you create an account online, you can download the app, and then you can access many of those resources on your phone too, or mobile device.
That's excellent. Wow, what a resource! So is a resume part of Tutor.com, or is that something else?
It's part of Tutor.com.
Okay,
yes.
All right. And so there's no one at the library who actually does any kind of resume work with people.
Not at this time.
Okay. Is the library still doing taxes for people?
Not yet. What we've been suggesting is to call 211, and they can refer them to sites close to them for tax assistance. In the past we've had VITA, the tax through AARP to help with taxes. At this time, our buildings are closed, and pandemic, of course, we don't have that service available.
Okay, all right. Well, I know people will be looking for it. Well, it's January 28th, right? It's getting really close.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see. I know we have a fourth segment. Let me ask you, just in terms of success stories with your menu program, a family, a child who was helped through a situation. They were really happy, and you were happy because they were happy.
I think just when I think we don't get. I haven't seen as much feedback from parents after they return the books, but when we give them the books, usually it's the parent and the child is there, and just seeing their face light up when they see all those books that are for them. I think that's like the most like gratifying feeling you get. You're like, oh, I got books, or when the parent comes and we have to give them a grocery bag full of books because they requested that many, and like, yes, I have enough to last to keep my child occupied for for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
and it's just that that sort of service it's just so satisfying, and so it's just great that in the midst of this, and Carrie Scott said this, she called it a national trauma, and I really took to that. This national trauma, that we can still help our community, we can still be a positive force in our community.
Well, we downplay it. We really do downplay it, and I hate to say this because a lot of people have lost their lives, but it's just going to sound stupid me saying this. We're in a pandemic, and your library has just done a whole lot of good to help people function, for kids to continue the education path they were on before they got pulled out of school, and it's just priceless. So I just really appreciate. We're going to go to break again, Susan, okay. but just really appreciate all the things that you've done for the children, the moms and the dads, and just the average Chula Vista resident who needs some diversion, some help, the job search piece, whatever the case might be, access to information about their medical situation, getting a vaccination. It's a good long list, a lot longer than I thought. So it's not just the library as the Loud Library now, which we're familiar with that, but also this and not just a place for the community, but just all of these resources. So we're so glad to have you doing what you're doing. We're going to be back with Susan and Empizo. You're listening to WS Radio and the Literacy for All radio show, and join us for the fourth segment. And we're going to go into a little bit more in this last segment about all the jobs that Susan has done. I want her to list those for us, and then we'll get into some other fun stuff. We'll be right back.
Thank you for listening to WS Radio. Improve your business and your life with useful information from experts and thought leaders. WS Radio is radio with ROI.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is working to help keep you and your community safe from the threat of novel or new coronavirus. Take the following everyday steps to help avoid the spread of all respiratory viruses. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue. Throw the tissue away and then wash your hands. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects or surfaces, such as remote controls and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And stay home if you are sick. Call your healthcare provider if you develop fever, cough, or difficulty breathing. For more tips, visit cdc.gov.
Can you imagine a world without children? A world where children don't play, or dream, or imagine?
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're working every day to find cures for diseases that strike down children, because we can't imagine a world without children. Can you?
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. To learn how you can help, log on to our website, stjude.org.
Homeless veterans and their families are suffering and need our support, but many won't ask or don't know that help is within reach. Veterans Community Services is here to help. Amazingly, about 35% of the homeless in our neighborhoods are veterans with families. Low-income veterans or their friends are encouraged to contact Veterans Community Services and reach out for help with housing and other services. Call now, 800-974-9909.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy. You're listening to the Literacy for All radio show on WS Radio. Our guest is Susan Empizo Vega. I just want to call you Susan Empizo. And she's a librarian and at the Chula Vista Public Library. And we're doing This is Susan's Life in Literacy, going all the way back to, did we decide it was 1996 they started?
95.
95, okay.
Yeah.
All righty. And tell me about that first day. Do you remember your very first day coming in?
I do. I was, and I have, I do. I was, after being trained, I got the phone call to say I was matched with a learner.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that the learner was a poet. And she was actually been with other tutors before, and she was in a curriculum that was 12 books, and she was in book 4. So I was trained in that type of tutoring, which is the Wilson Reading System.
Uh-huh.
And so when I first started, I thought it would be in book 1, but she was in book 4, so I was like, okay, let's catch up and see where she's at.
Yeah.
And so I remember meeting her, and she was just so delightful, so great. I still have some of her poems, but I still remember her, and I don't know if I can share the story with her, but I won't mention names. But she was someone who was shy. She was shy. She was quiet. She was married, and we worked together for a good year, if not longer. And we got to, I think, we're almost through the whole
Wilson Reading System.
Yeah, Wilson Reading System. Yes. And then one day, when I met her at the library for tutoring, she was crying, and I was like, "What's wrong?" And she handed me a slip of paper, and in it was a leaf slip from her husband. And it was a day he said he was working, and it was a day he was not. And it was so she was able to read it, understand it, and with that, she realized that he was not a good husband.
Got it.
And I'd like to think that with her ability to read more and her confidence in her reading skills, she was able to leave that situation.
Right.
And leave the toxic spouse behind and move on and live her own life.
Yeah.
And I always think it's very bittersweet, but I like to think that had she not had the skills to read the items, she would still be in that same situation.
Right. Well, it's there's so much about this work. Some of the results, it's over a period of time. We look at the Even Start program. I don't know if you remember Phyllis Ruth. Do you remember her?
I do.
She ran Even Start for the La Mesa School District. Family Literacy Program is a federally funded family literacy program. Now, of course, everybody wants results after 6 months and 1 year or whatever. And Phyllis said, look, it's 10 years later. Our kids are going to college. These kids in our program, right, are going to college. It worked, but it's 10 years later. And that's just the way it is. And we just have to, I don't think 10 years is a long time to wait. Right? And so you think about what you did with your student and just how all these skills are taking her through life right now. You just have to know that it's rich. It's a really good thing. So Susan, let's go through, because we're going to run out of time. Tell the different libraries that you worked at, and maybe briefly what you did at each one of them. Starting with Chula Vista, right?
Yeah. So Chula Vista, yes. So this was in the 90s. I was the tutor. I was a tutor, then AmeriCorps member,
Mhm.
and then a staff. So a lot of times, and a lot of this carries over. The same task carries over.
Okay.
So I would assess new learners. I would train new tutors.
Yeah.
I would try to recruit as many tutors and learners as I could. Teach classes. Even tutor, just to make sure I'm still, my skills don't get too rusty. So that was Chula Vista, and then when I shifted to San Jose, it was very similar, being in that capacity, recruiting, training, doing a little bit of tutoring, leading a book club for learners.
Mhm.
I came back to Chula Vista. They took me back, and also Carlsbad, same thing. Doing recruitment. More Carlsbad was more behind the scenes, but a lot of literacy related. But when I got to National City, that's when things shifted a bit.
I forgot about National City. Oh, my goodness. That's right.
I was the program director for the California Library Literacy AmeriCorps program.
Okay.
So again, it's kind of like a full circle.
Yeah.
Again, so I started off as AmeriCorps, and then now I'm the program director to a statewide program, which is amazing. If anything, I got to see so many libraries, and I love that. I love seeing the small rural libraries. Going back to San Jose and seeing how they're doing. But I was helping with the team. We were working together. We placed I can't remember 100 plus members throughout the state at 35 different library systems.
My goodness.
Yeah, and just making sure we want to make sure it's a satisfying
experience
situation for both the library and the so that was something. But as with all grant-funded positions, they tend to go away. So I was lucky to fall that San Diego took me in.
San Diego Public Library. Yeah.
Yes. So that was really fun. That majority, that's the place where I kind of set my roots. I was there for 9 years.
Was it that long? Oh man.
Almost 9. It was a long time. And working with Val.
And you were doing the computer lab?
Yeah, working the computer lab. We actually, at one point, working with the state library, we had a distance learning program going on where tutors from, Nevada County were meeting with learners from San Diego using a lot of things similar to what we do now. And the technology, I feel like wasn't as readily available as it is now because of the need for it now.
Yeah.
But I would like to think that was like the start of the distance learning.
Wow.
And teletutoring. They call it teletutoring, but just being able to teach on Tutor Online.
Wow.
So when the opportunity to be at Chula Vista came, I did take it. I felt like it was a nice way to close that circle to sort of okay, I started, let's end it here. And it's been fun. I mean, we're growing the program pretty steadily.
That's obvious. That's clear. Susan, I'm going to interrupt you because, believe it or not, we're coming to the end of our hour together.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Oh.
So I need to ask you this because you were a very dedicated Padre fan.
I was.
And we have 1 minute left. Now they're going to have a big year. We know it. Are you going to be there?
Yeah.
Are you going to some games? Coming back?
I am.
Right.
They don't have my soul as they used to.
I know.
But
well, you put your heart into it, and they didn't take care of that.
Yeah, but I will be there.
Yeah.
I will be there.
All
yes.
righty.
As
Okay.
soon as they open up, we will probably buy tickets and go.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good. Well, I'll see you out there, and it's all going to open up, and Susan, goodness, I'm glad we did this because you're one of those special literacy people I've had the opportunity to share my journey with, and me having the honor of being in your journey because we did cross paths there a couple of places, but you've done amazing work. So I think people need to know that. We need to get this podcast link out there. Everyone say no more about the Susan Empizo Vega story in literacy. Hello, you're amazing. So thank you.
And thank you for. I mean, without you, I probably wouldn't be where I am now.
Oh my God!
You were there in the beginning, and I probably wouldn't have stayed in this world.
Very
for
good.
much
Thank you,
longer.
Susan. We'll have you back. I'm so glad to have you. Anyway, you've been listening to, you're welcome. You've been listening to the Literacy for All radio show with Susan Empizo Vega. And we're on WS Radio, and we'll be back for more broadcasts. WS Radio is the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
You can reduce your risk of COVID-19 by cleaning and disinfecting frequently touched items and surfaces every day. These items include remotes, tables, counters, light switches, doorknobs, handles, toilets, and sinks. Wear disposable gloves to clean and disinfect. If you can see that the item is dirty, wash first with soap and water or another general cleaner. Then use a household disinfectant to kill germs. Follow manufacturer's instructions for application and proper ventilation to safely use the product. For phones or other electronics, follow the manufacturer's instructions for cleaning and disinfecting. If no instructions, use alcohol-based wipes or sprays containing at least 70% alcohol. Dry surface thoroughly. For more tips, visit cdc.gov.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic, safe, effective, even money-saving, just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
I raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children. After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The WorldLink program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.